Holy buckets, that's cold. Good morning, people of YouTube. It is cold this morning. My truck said -17, and that is in Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So that is really, really cold. We're out here plowing again this morning. We got a couple inches overnight, and because it was so cold, it's really light, fluffy stuff, and it just kind of blew in, filled the roads in. We got some driftage going on. So not a whole lot of snow, but like I said, drifting, filled the roads in, got to get those drifts pushed back. So that's what we're doing. The wind's kind of died down now, so we're hoping we can get this. Oh, that was rough. We're hoping we can get this pushed off the road, and it'll stay off the road for a little while, because we really don't like being out when it's this cold. We got these trucks fuel all doctored up, so they'll hopefully not freeze. We got number 1 in them. We got extra anti-gel stuff in them. We seem to still have trouble when it's this cold. We're just really hoping that we can get through for a few hours and get these roads opened up and not have any issues. If you watched my last video, you'll know we haven't been having very good luck keeping stuff on the road. Payloader broke down, and it still broke down sitting in the shop. They're coming to work on it tomorrow. The red truck had some emissions issues. We got it back. Dad's running it this morning. He's gonna kind of see how it goes. We don't really know if it's fixed or not. When it comes to that emission stuff, it's like you can try and fix it, but you never really know until you actually run it. So we hope our luck is turned around, because this cold weather, we're just asking for something to gel up, something to break. So we're just really taking it easy this morning, not going too fast, not being hard on anything, just trying to get through. So I kind of wanted this video to be a little bit of a question and answer video. A couple videos ago when we were out plowing, I had a lot of comments on that video. A lot of them were pretty good questions. So I want to take this opportunity while I'm in the truck. I can show you some of the things I missed and some of the things that you guys had questions on. So first question has to do with the ice building up underneath my wipers. One guy suggested, why don't I turn my heater coils on? That's what these lines are in the windshield. There's a switch, you turn them on, they warm up, they melt the ice. That is a great suggestion. I have them on right here. That switch, that green on switch. That's what that's for. I always run them, always have them on. The problem is, if you're plastering that edge of the windshield with ice, if you're going into the wind or something, a lot of times it'll just stick to that edge and you'll get a big coat of ice. Those heater coils will not melt it fast enough to where the wipers won't hit it and bust off. So, great idea. I'm already on top of it, but it's not a foolproof design. I think probably the best thing I could do to keep ice from building up is to not run my defrost, so I can keep the windshield as cold as possible, because when you have a warm windshield and cold snow, that's when it sticks. But a lot of times we have really heavy wet snow, and then it doesn't really matter what temperature your windshield is, it's going to stick either way. So I normally just run the defrost, that way it'll melt whatever sticks to it, and try and keep an eye on that wiper, make sure nothing builds up, that way we don't have it break off. Okay, next question. Why don't you run tire chains? Very good question. Tire chains are very helpful in slippery conditions. The problem is, as you can see, we're running on dry pavement. And if you put those chains on dry pavement, it really, really sucks to drive the truck, because you can only go about 10 miles per hour and the truck is just shaking up and down because of those chains like this. Sorry, that was probably hard on your eyes. We do have tire chains for all of our trucks, and we do run them once in a while. It's very rare that we need them, because most of the time we're running on dry pavement. We peel the snow off and we got dry pavement underneath. Sometimes when we do get heavy wet snow, if we do get a lot of it, like last weekend, we do get some snowpack, and then we do need those tire chains. We were actually thinking about putting them on, but a couple days later it warmed up and that snow started to melt. The other reason is, as you can see around me, it's kind of flat as a pancake out here. We don't have to push up any big hills. We're just pretty much on flat ground. We have a few small hills, but we don't need those chains to get up any hills because we don't have any hills. So that's why we don't run tire chains very often. Next question is, how many miles of road do you plow? Excellent question. So our township is a standard 6 mile by 6 mile square. So if you figure that out by the math, it's 72 miles of road. but it's not exactly 72 miles because there's a few roads that are kind of missing. For whatever reason, they didn't build them. Another reason is we have, to my left right here, we have a conservation area. It's 3 whole sections of land that's dedicated just for hunting and wildlife, basically. So there's no roads out there, and then there's a few other roads missing. So I'd have to add it up, but it's probably something like 60 miles of roads. So I'll have to add that up and figure it out. Good question though. So here's a good example of the whole windshield thing. There's some ice built up. Now it's not enough ice to cause a problem, but as you can see, it's not melting instantly. It takes a little while. So there was another comment asking why we don't put a convex mirror up on the front corner of the truck, that way we could see the wing. I have a couple reasons why I'm not sure if that would work really well. Once I get up here to the intersection, I'll get out and stop and show you kind of what I'm thinking. But the way this wing is mounted, I just don't think that convex mirror would work out real well. So this is how the wing is mounted on the truck that I run. It's mounted at the front, off the front bumper, and then this rod comes back to the middle of the truck. A lot of the wings that I've seen on the county trucks, the front of the wing is mounted here, and then the back mounts somewhere back there. They mostly have them on tandem trucks. But if we were to put a convex mirror that would normally mount right here, you'd be looking behind the wing. You wouldn't even be able to see the wing. So to be able to actually see it, you'd almost have to have it mounted way up here by the plow, which, I mean, I guess you could mount it to the plow. I don't know if that would work very well, but then you'd have to be looking through that light. And I can't see, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have x-ray vision. I can't see through things. So I don't think that would work out real well. The other thing is we put this Nordic plow cutting edge on it. I don't know if you can see very well, but it curves back on the bottom. So you basically just set this wing down and let it float. You don't have to worry about it tearing up the edge of the road because the bottom is curved back like that. So I really don't have a reason to need to see the wing. If we were still running a regular cutting edge and I was worried about gouging the road, then I would look into putting a convex mirror, but for now, I just don't think it's worth it. So to whoever suggested that, I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I think it's a really good idea. I just don't know how I would make it work on this truck, the way that wing is mounted. Another suggestion somebody had is get one of those whips, kind of like what's on the edge of that plow, to put on the wing. I really like that idea, and I've been looking for a really tall one because that wing is a long ways down there. I would have to have probably, I don't know, a 4 or 5 foot tall whip to be able to actually see it from the window. I do think that would actually help. You could actually judge how close you are to things. Right now I'm just kind of winging it, and if I'm trying to go around a mailbox, you just kind of make sure you're plenty wide so you don't hit it, and then you end up kind of missing part of the road just because you don't want to hit the mailbox. So if I had a nice tall whip on the end of there, I could slow down, get as close to the mailbox as I can, and do a little bit better job. So I do like that idea. All right, time for the last question. Somebody mentioned that we need to put something in the box of this dump truck for weight. That way it doesn't slide around as much. Well, we do actually. I'll climb up here and show you. We run limestone chips in the bed for weight and to also spread out when the roads get slick. These are the same chips that we use for tar and chip roads. And we have this roller spreader on the back here. It's just got a drum that rolls, and you pop your tailgate. It fills up in here. You can change the speed of this thing and it'll just kind of drop chips out however thick you want them. Those chips work really well when we get ice or really slick roads. We usually put them by the intersections. That way when cars are coming up to a stop sign, they have something for traction so they don't go sliding through. And it also works, the sun will actually shine down and warm up those individual chips, and they'll melt down to the road surface, and they'll kind of help with melting. When it's this cold, they're not going to melt because I don't think anything will melt. No matter how much sun you have when it's minus 10 degrees or whatever it is right now. Some townships run sand or cinders. We don't run that just because we don't have any. We have plenty of chips and they work pretty well, and it's not like we have to stock anything extra just for that. We don't have the budget for salt, so we don't put salt down, which I kind of like because it doesn't rot away the trucks. So, great question. All right, I just got done plowing back here at the shop. I just thought of one more question that people had. Somebody was asking the model numbers on our equipment, so I'll run through that real quick. The road grader that we have is a 672B. We've been running this quite a bit the past week because it has a snow wing on it and it has a plow on the front. It works really well for winging back. The only thing is it's really slow. So we like to do as much as we can with the trucks just because it's quicker. We also have this old white International. I don't know what model this is, but it's your standard 1990s International dump truck, single axle. We do have a plow for it, but we rarely use it. Next up, we have a 7210 John Deere with a loader on it. This is what we use for mowing roadsides and dragging the gravel roads. Next up is my personal favorite, the 624J payloader. This guy's broke down right now, like you saw in the last video, but I really enjoy running this payloader. This thing will move mountains. It's really fun to run. I don't know if I actually explained it that well in the last video, but this thing right here is the parking brake doohickey thing, and bearing went out, seal went out, whatever happened, and this thing is locked up. So we had to unhook the drive shafts going to the front end, that way this thing doesn't turn, and we were able to drive it back with just rear wheel drive. So they're coming out in the morning to get this thing fixed up. And you guys have seen the green dump truck. It's a 7400 International. It has a DT466 pre-emissions. Really good old truck, low miles. We plan on keeping it around for a long time. And the last piece of equipment we have is the red dump truck. Dad's still out with it. He's on his way back. I believe it is a Workstar. Does that sound right? I'll have to look at it when he gets back, but it's newer. It's a 2013, so it's got the DPF on it. It doesn't have DEF, but it does have emissions, and we have a little bit of trouble with that one. So that's our equipment. So I hope this video answered all the questions that you guys might have. If you do have any more questions, drop them down in the comments. I read every single comment and I respond to the ones that need responded to. So if you have any more questions, drop them down there. I'm glad you guys like these snowplow videos. I didn't know how they would work, but you guys seem to like it. So as we keep getting snow, I'm gonna keep pushing snowplow videos out. So there's not a whole lot else going on in the winter. Might as well make snowplow videos. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.